Welcome back to Tales from the Road. I'm Dave Dufour, and with me is Dr. Jill Windy, and we're talking about choosing a pet, selecting a good traveling companion when you are out on the road for taking with you on the road in the RV,
Right.
camping, everything else. So we kind of touched on some grooming issues in the last episode, and there's a couple of breeds that are particularly nice as far as that's concerned. Or they're two ends of the spectrum. Is that right? I wasn't quite sure where
two
we were.
ends of the spectrum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just brought two pictures with me just to show you kind of the range of care that you might need. So we'll go ahead and have Courtney pop the first one up there.
Ooh.
Yeah, so here's this this Commodore, and the Poolies will look very similar to this. This is sort of the mop head kind of coat.
Sort of a cousin it look there
Yeah.
going. Yeah, this one.
It's they're really kind of cool to pet and handle. They do take some upkeep though, and
They shed or they don't shed?
Not a ton. No, they kind
Wow.
of turn into these like almost like dreadlock kind of
Oh, I
things
get
going
you.
on if
Okay.
you're not careful. So a lot of upkeep, but not a lot of shed. Now, when we have, say, another pet like a foxhound, so who's going to pop up? There he is. So these guys are going to shed a fair amount, but they have a really pretty low maintenance coat. You know, it's very short. You don't have to have it trimmed or groomed, you know, like a Shih Tzu or a poodle. But they're going to be little tricolored hairs everywhere.
That's right.
So you know, length of hair doesn't always correlate with amount of grooming or shedding. So you just need to look really specifically into the breed that you're checking out.
Now the fox, I know the foxhound is not a terribly large dog, so it's not bad for traveling. What about the Commodore? How big is that?
It's a larger breed dog.
Larger breed dog.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Not like the Irish Wolfhound.
No,
type
not a
size,
giant breed.
That's
not a
right.
giant.
Those are huge.
Those need their own RVs.
Yeah. They can drive their RV.
Those are-
That's right. Irish Wolfhound. Those are really they're gorgeous, but they're really tall.
Yeah.
So anyway, so a couple of choices to make. You know, real basic choices are: do you buy a newborn animal, a puppy or kitten, or do you want to buy an adult? What are the pros and cons
Sure,
there
pros and
in terms
cons.
of? And when I say buy, I mean acquire, because sometimes you don't. You
Sometimes
can
they're
find a pet
adopting.
without paying for it. Adopt
Right.
a pet, right?
Yep.
So what's the trade-offs
Things
there?
to think about. Sure. Well, puppies and kittens, you know, you kind of get them from scratch. So you have probably the biggest hand in, you know, developing that early socialization and all of that. Some drawback, and you know, of course, you get to live out the really cute puppy and kitten stage.
Right.
You have a little more control over that formative period. You may not know their exact size or hair coat style, especially if it's a mixed breed.
Yeah.
Some of them can be a little unpredictable.
Right.
But some pros and cons as far as there. Now, with the adults, you kind of know what you're getting, you know, as far as those sort of physical type attributes. Adults do still need to be house trained. They still need to be, you know, conform to your schedule and learn the new ropes, that kind of thing. But you can also sometimes adopt a really nice middle-aged or senior pet who, you know, you don't have to go through all of the puppy stuff. So you know, there are some pros and cons there. You know, it just kind of depends on what's most important.
But you have
you.
to realize too is that you have to know kind of why that pet is available for adoption.
Exactly.
It may be that the owners just cannot keep it anymore, but the pet's fine, or it may be that there's some behavioral problems that aren't evident initially.
Right? That you need to know
Yeah.
about, you know, before you need to know what you're getting into.
That's right. Now,
As much as possible.
When you find a pet like that in a humane society, does the humane society usually have a kind of a fair idea of the behavioral attributes of an animal like that before you come along, or not?
Sometimes, if they have been given information, some owners are not terribly forthcoming when
Right.
surrendering their pet. But any information that they can get from a previous owner, if possible, you want to find that out. A lot of shelters will kind of do temperament testing and do some of those types of things, which is great, and can kind of filter out the one who's going to attack you if you walk within 6 feet of its food bowl and stuff.
Right.
We always just have to remember that temperament testing in a shelter setting may not be the same as temperament testing results in a home or individual
Right.
type setting, because it's very, very chaotic in most shelters and very stressful. So from an animal perspective, so they may not have the same reactions that they would at home, but it's a good, it's a good first start.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay. So where do we go? We were talking a little bit about shelters, but there are some other options in terms of where you can find or purchase or adopt or whatever.
Right.
What's the most obvious starting point?
Well, there's probably three most common places that we'll see. We'll see pet stores, shelters and rescues, and breeders are going to be probably three most places where most people get their pets.
Okay.
So pet stores can be really fun. You can see lots of different breeds at one time potentially. Need to be just a little bit careful that some pet stores, some breeders and puppy mills will use those as kind of an outlet for puppies that they can't sell any other way. So again, try to find out as much as you can about where that puppy was from.
Right, and now the mixed breed isn't necessarily a bad pet though. It's a lot. I mean, they're great, but you do have to be careful. Is a pet in a pet store more likely to have some common diseases starting out than say a pet that you get
Well, it's
through some another? Okay.
Well, it's possible, and unfortunately, there have been some disreputable
Right.
breeders and things who will take the ones they can't sell any other way and kind of go, here.
Gotcha.
So, I think, we want to make sure you're using a very reputable pet store and, and find out where they're acquiring their pets.
Right, and then I'm bringing this up, of course, because we know that, we see in the news always the bad news about pet
Right.
stores and breeders, and there are some really great people out
Absolutely.
there. Is the
Absolutely.
AKC any help in finding reputable breeders?
Yep, you can help use the AKC.
That's
they
the
have
American Kennel
standards.
Club, by the
Right.
way.
Yep. They can help you. AHA can help you, American Animal Hospital Association, AVMA, which is the American Veterinary Medical Association. Your local veterinarian
Right.
usually has a relationship with some breeders. They can help direct you as well. So yeah, breeders are really fun. You get some really great ones. We get some that are sort of backyard breeders.
Right.
We get some puppy mills, which is bad. This
Yeah.
is like health of animals, not so much of a concern. Just kick out as many as we
Right.
can. Okay, avoid that. And we'll also, get the occasional oops litter.
There you go. There you go.
Where they're breeders because they're the owners of the pets that happen
The
to become
owners
involved.
of the pet, and
So-
they wasn't. Yeah.
So we get the oopses.
The neutering knife didn't come along soon enough.
There you
right?
go.
Yeah, but bringing back to the veterinarian can be a very good resource because you have a stake in recommending a healthy animal because
Sure.
that's a potential client,
Sure.
and obviously, but you also have firsthand as a veterinarian
firsthand knowledge.
knowledge about
Exactly.
what am I seeing in a particular breeder's animals, problems or not. If you got a pretty much a trouble-free breeder for the most part, then
Yeah.
that's one you can recommend.
You can recommend doing
Sure.
that. Sure. Yeah. We also, we're in the age of technology, and a lot of people will go on and do internet searches. Things like petfinder.com and some of those types of places. And we're going to talk in just a minute about things to watch out for, regardless of whether it's pet store, shelter, online, breeder, etc.
Okay.
So we'll check that out.
Okay, and we'll do that right after we come back from the break. So stay with us here on Tales from the Road. More stuff about picking your pet
That's right.
to travel with you on Tales from the Road soon.
Very soon.
Please cut it out, Courtney. Stop. Take me off. Get rid of the camera. I'll go down below the table.
Got a question or a
Amen.
comment for Dr. Jill Windy? Get in touch at tales@rvnn.tv or leave a voicemail at 877-578-RVNN, extension 705. Hey, why not email a photo of you and your pet on the RV trail? We love pictures, and we might just use it in an upcoming episode. Follow RV Newsnet on Facebook and Twitter, and you can receive text messages to alert you when we're streaming live by texting RVNN to 72727. That way, you can join us live in the chat room, ask questions, and become part of the RV Newsnet family. Remember, any photos or other material submitted to us become the property of RV Newsnet and cannot be returned. Today's show is brought to you by Angie's List, where you'll find thousands of unbiased reports and reviews about service companies in your area. Whether you're looking for a roofer, plumber, house cleaner, dentist, or even a doctor, Angie's List members share their experiences with each other so that you can choose the service company that's right for your job. Companies can't pay to be on Angie's List, and the reviews come from people just like you who have had experience with the companies mentioned. To find out more, go to rvnn.tv and click on the Angie's List ad.